Hello everybody. Welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all doing fantastic and that you're all having a wonderful day. Don't forget to leave a like. It is a free and easy and free way to support the channel. And without any further ado, let's jump right into it. Back onto the optimism bandwagon. Woo! It's crazy up here, y'all. As we went over the last couple of videos, there were some days quite recently where people decided to be less optimistic, or they were just posting really weird, sad, negative things on the twits. However, that seems to have changed, and it's very nice to just not be surrounded by negativity online anymore. As we've been going over a number of places, so I'll give you the full rundown as best I can. The United States is apparently soonly going to be accumulating Bitcoin. As far as we've heard, the numbers and guesstimates are anywhere from 200,000 Bitcoin to 1 million Bitcoin. The problem there being is that after this was announced, and we recently had news from Cynthia Lummis, that apparently she's drafting the bill within the United States. Other countries began to buy up Bitcoin as well. We got this news from Novogratz, from Max Kaiser, etc., etc., etc. There was also recently a rumor, I don't have it here because it's like a rumor, that the UAE, the United Arab Emirates, apparently is holding $40 billion worth of Bitcoin. It's a rumor, someone started it, apparently it has weight to it, but until we get real clarification that they have $40 billion, it's just kind of in the air. So the other part is basically that, it's a multitude of things. Where do I even begin? The 200,000 Bitcoin seems fairly plausible over the course of a 5-year period. We keep hearing 5 years, 5 years, 5 years, 5 years. The problem, my friends, is that this equates to 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. 40,000 Bitcoin a year, 40,000 Bitcoin a year that the United States, as a whole, DC, would be accumulating. The issue there is that on any given hour, a MicroStrategy is buying 51,000 Bitcoin, far out surpassing what the US would actually have. The secondary part is that if it is a million Bitcoin, that's going to be even more of an issue, because that's 200,000 Bitcoin over each year over the course of a 5-year period. And as far as we know and have been able to guesstimate, and also we know because of Chainalysis and these other on-chain analytical companies, remember them? There's not, how do I say this in the nicest way? There's not a million Bitcoin left to buy. Oh, that was pretty easy. Yeah, as far as we know, there are only several 100,000 Bitcoin actually left up for grabs. That's it. Do you know how everyone's like, oh my gosh, 21 million, blah, 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 all that other stuff? No, that's all that's all passé. No one does that anymore. Mainly because rich people have figured out that Bitcoin is probably going to $12 million in the next decade. So they're buying up as much as humanly possible for themselves. And then on top of hearing that the us might be trying to do the exact same thing, more companies have also been buying quickly than we've ever experienced before. See where the whole supply crunch comes in? And that was going to happen organically. That was going to happen just from everyday normal people buying up Bitcoin over the course of the next 10 to 15 years. But guess what happened? We got Bitcoin ETFs in the US of A. And for some reason, they're buying up tons of Bitcoin as well. I guess it has to do with the fact that Bitcoin is probably going up to several $1,000,000 a coin, and they want to make extra profit and make sure that they remain the richest people on the planet. But that just seems silly, right? Why would rich people be buying something that's going to go up in price? I still haven't figured it out. The other part, for those of you who've been missing it, is that apparently a bunch of different states within the United States, as we've been going over, are also like, hey, we also want some of that as well. So in the simplest terms, the U.S., and let's say specifically, it would have to be D.C., Washington, D.C., which is not a state. Put your hand down. It's not a state. You can Google it. Would be buying for the nation's Bitcoin reserve. The other states, however, understand that that would essentially not be their Bitcoin. So we've recently heard from Pennsylvania, I believe Ohio, ? Texas, there's rumors about Arizona, I want to say Washington State as well, and now we have another one joining the fray who's like, hey, we got to get some of that as well because there's literally not enough left. So we're witnessing a couple of things. We're witnessing the extra mega scarcity of Bitcoin, but we're also witnessing he who buyeth first gets the richness. I don't know what I was trying to say there. Remember like 2 or 3 years ago, I'm so erratic today. What's going on? Remember like 2 or 3 years ago where we had a situation, and I'll never forget this. We had a situation where there were a number of countries who were beginning to ban Bitcoin. And I was like, oh, that's so smart. I'm sure your citizens are going to love that in a couple of years when Bitcoin goes up in price. And they realized that they also could have bought some. The other part is that with the beginning of the El Salvador news, the Central African Republic, and other countries who began to like openly outright buy and mine Bitcoin, I was like, we're going to witness some really weird money moves. If Bitcoin is excessively finite and there's only a couple 100,000 left, and that's like what's on exchanges that's actually liquid, that people are able to actually buy. As that number dwindles and Bitcoin becomes scarcer, we're going to start hearing these numbers, i.e., El Salvador has X amount of Bitcoin. The country next to them only has 30. Florida has 3,000 Bitcoin. North Carolina only has 7. People forget how scarce it actually is until you give them these kinds of numbers. We are going to witness wealth actually move dramatically, even across the United States, because the wealth of that state will begin to grow larger and larger the more Bitcoin that they have and the higher Bitcoin's price actually goes. So we are going to see, I'm guesstimating, as I said before, around 17 different states within the states by next summer are going to probably have announced that they're getting into Bitcoin. And you may ask once again, why 17? Why not 25? Why not all 50? Because not everyone works logically. You're going to have people who are more, I don't want to use the word attuned to money, but people who realize what's going on and they're going to jump onto it. It's the same exact reason. Why are you into crypto and the rest of your family isn't? Where are your friends in the cryptocurrency? Like, it's that kind of thing. So I wonder what dynamics this is going to actually cause in the future as far as like the literal wealth of nations. If we hear that the U.S. is going to start, D.C. is going to start accumulating Bitcoin, and then other countries announce that they already have been accumulating for the last 14 years, and they have more than America, what happens to like power dynamics? What happens to like other? It's kind of weird, right? It's kind of weird. In the news today, apparently, Florida is looking to get into some BTC. It says Florida is planning to invest $1.85 billion US dollars from its pension fund into Bitcoin to take the lead in using cryptocurrency. And this is with support from state leaders and the Florida Blockchain Business Association. Do you understand how much money? $1.85 billion. If they had symbolically purchased 1 Bitcoin or even 10 Bitcoin, that goes so far in the future. $1.85 billion changes the entire face of like wealth in that state. Florida is planning to invest $1.85 billion from its state pension fund into BTC, aiming to lead in crypto adoption. This is backed by the Florida Blockchain Business Association, the FBBA, and pro-crypto leaders. This move could change how states use digital assets in their financial plans. Isn't Florida the state that doesn't have income tax? I think it's that one. Yeah, this is why a lot of people keep moving to Florida because of the money. I mean, there's no other. I mean, also like nice weather. I'm gonna say there's no other reason. If you've never been to Florida before, Florida is like just hot. I remember going there as a child, and I mean also like I went back multiple times. But when you get out of the airport, oh, you know, like when you're cooking, like imagine like you're cooking a pizza in the oven. Or like you are like getting something like some kind of a roast, and like you open up the oven door and that heat that hits you, that's the whole day. Like that. Like every day. So in Fahrenheit, I remember every day being around like a good like 93 degrees. In Celsius, it's 30, 35, like a good like 37, 38 every single day. Like every day, like there's the only break that you have from it are the constant thunderstorms that like roll through. You look into the sky, it's bright. There's not one cloud. The sun is like beaming on your face. You blink, the sky is pitch black and it starts pouring. It is the weirdest thing in the entire world, but a lot of people love it. I can't deal with heat like that. I can't. No, like any. No, it's too hot. No. Florida has a $185 billion pension fund, the 4th largest in the U.S. They have already invested in crypto as well. They're probably this is also something that happened years ago, and people were like, yum, 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 yum. A lot of states and countries, we found out, were actually buying shares of Grayscale's like Bitcoin funds, like explicitly. Like they didn't use that money to buy gold or to buy rocks or whatever people are buying these days. They literally were buying stuff from Grayscale. And then we found out, this is crazy. This is how anyone could be bearish on Bitcoin or crypto is like weird. It's like a little insane. Like, I don't want to be near you, kind of like, oh, you're gross, like that kind of thing. Because how are you like not understanding exactly what's happening? We heard that there were a lot of states and countries and national sovereign funds who also, because of SEC files, you remember this? It was early 2024, spring 2024. There were countries who were literally, they had to file with the US SEC. And we found out that these countries and these cities and these states had been buying Bitcoin like through the ETFs from BlackRock. And I was like, you all see what's happening, right? Nope, the price went down. Whee! Everyone stopped paying attention. This has been going on for a while. Like, these people aren't idiots. Like they know that they need to buy up as much Bitcoin as possible. It was also certain that it was Miami, the mayor of Miami, who started, what was it? I think he started buying Bitcoin like for the city. It was a couple of years ago when this happened. That also was like, I thought we'd have more people paying attention, but apparently not. $185 billion pension fund. Samuel Armes, A-R-M-E-S, Armes, head of the FBBA, suggests using 1% of the fund to create a Bitcoin reserve, offering financial diversity and exposure to the growing crypto market. With a $116 billion budget, surplus in 2024, 2025, allocating 1% around 1.16 billion could further boost Florida's role in Bitcoin adoption. And here's the tweet for it right here. There are two men who are shaking hands. I feel like I should know them, but I don't. They're just men in suits, and I assume they have money because, you know, Bitcoin. Yeah, this continues every single day. I don't know, guys. I don't really know what to kind of say anymore because every single day we keep getting news like this. And forgive me. I mistakenly thought that when Bitcoin went above 100,000, that, you know, the world would go, oh my gosh, we got to go buy some Bitcoin. But everyone keeps pretending like all this stuff isn't happening. So never forget. A lot of you are probably holding more Bitcoin than every millionaire and billionaire would ever be able to have. It's impossible for every millionaire and billionaire to have an entire coin. It's actually even more impossible for all of them to have half of a coin and soon a third of a coin. Like these are real numbers. Like these are the actual real numbers. I think it's estimated, what is it? It's like nearly 30 million millionaires and billionaires combined, like on the planet that we know of. It's impossible for them to have an entire coin. With all the coins being swept up right now, it's impossible for every millionaire and billionaire to have half of a coin. Also a third of a coin. So a lot of you are literally holding more Bitcoin than millionaires and billionaires will ever be able to have. That's the Florida news. Yeah. Let's move on. I'm not sure where this is coming from. Maybe somebody just wanted to be in the news. I'm not really sure. Kathy Wood and a number of other people are back to talking about Bitcoin, being digital gold or being bigger than gold and being worth more than gold. I think it's because, like, 2025 ? I don't really know. If a lot of you have forgotten, haven't been here before, the expectaciones right now for Bitcoin is that the price is going to go higher. I know that sounds, oh my gosh, cynical, but people think that 2025 is going to be like the year when everything kind of happens. The US is buying Bitcoin, states are buying Bitcoin, countries are buying, like everything is kind of out in the open. And basically, once we get the full clarity that the US is definitely going to be doing it, we're probably going to see the number is an $800,000 Bitcoin. Why $800,000? Because that's the number that Bitcoin has to be larger than gold. All of gold, like all of it, all the gold that we know of that's above ground. Apparently someone said something to Kathy Wood and she completely went off, and I don't understand exactly what was going on or happening. Wood stated that ARK Invest Management believes Bitcoin is a much bigger idea than gold. She drew comparisons between gold's value and Bitcoin's. Basically, gold has a market cap of 15 trillion. Bitcoin is 2 trillion. And it basically has to do a 7x, a 7.5x, $750,000, $800,000 to completely surpass by it. The expectations or the idea is that that once Bitcoin passes by the market cap of gold, that people will begin to sell their gold and realize that they should have, this is the idea, and should have sold it off before in order to actually make that 7.5x or actually even more than that. As we've been going over, if you've never seen Bitcoin's value and price increase compared to gold over the last 10 years, buckle up because it's going to get quite dramatic really fast. It is more than it is easier for Bitcoin to go to $1 million than it is for gold to go to $27,000 an ounce. So yeah, not sure why this popped back up. This was also floating around. I keep seeing stuff. I think it's more of like an another generational fascination if I can put it in those words, because I did, where like other people keep thinking, no young person really thinks of gold as an investment. I think gold is shiny. I think gold coins are kind of cool, like from like a pirate perspective, like, "Arr, matey," like, having like a, that kind of thing. But like using it as an investment or even using it as money, like, doesn't really make a lot of sense, especially when we have like digital stuff and like cards and like also crypto. So I feel like it's kind of like from a bygone era that won't really go away. Because people keep assuming that this rock that they're finding in the ground is like worth a lot. Like even from the idea of like Bitcoin being open 24 hours a day and you can send money around the world like right now if you wanted to. If you tried to send like a gold coin around the world, it would probably take a couple of days, or you'd have to pay extra for like express shipping. But anyway, going off on a tangent. Cool. Bitcoin's better than gold. I had no idea. Thank you, Kathy Wood, for telling me that, because I was simply unaware. Okie dokie. Let's move on. Also in yay news. This made super popular news, and like I get it, but it's also like, whoa. Hong Kong's largest virtual bank, the ZA Bank, it is literally Z&A Bank, has launched a new service allowing retail users to buy and sell BTC and Ethereum directly using fiat. If you missed the Hong Kong saga over the last 2 years, they're a country, got it, who came out of nowhere and was like, hey, we like Bitcoin. Should we have some crypto regulation? And it took them 3 months. Not a year, not 2 years, not 15 years like we're still waiting from the US SEC. 3 months. And then somebody was like, yo, should we also have Bitcoin ETFs? And I was like, that's going to take them, oh wait, nope, immediately. I also like 2 or 3 months, they had Bitcoin ETFs. So Hong Kong has become a bit of a magnet, if you will, for Bitcoin, for crypto, for this entire idea. There was a lot of speculation before that apparently there might have been, or people were using Hong Kong as kind of like a sandbox before crypto was reallowed back within China. And then over the course of like 75 videos, I had to scream into the microphone to tell everyone that like Bitcoin is not banned in China. Using it as a form of legal tender is, but you can still own it. You can buy it, you can trade it, you can go OTC. You can even, what's the other thing? You can also mine it yourself as well. You just have to have like proper paperwork if you're going to be using some kind of a province and or a small town. So the popular news is that Hong Kong's largest virtual bank is apparently going one step further and allowing people to also get into crypto as well. This is, I know it doesn't seem significant because you live in a world, in a country where these things have already happened, but a lot of other places have been quite timid to allow Bitcoin or any kind of thing to kind of go forward. And when they have, it was normally only for institutions. Remember that? A lot of countries were like, no, Bitcoin's not banned. Bitcoin's totally so-and-so. But every product that was offered was only for institutions or people who qualified. And if you looked at the qualifications, you literally had to have like over like $20 million in your bank account, like liquid, to be able to deal in it. So allowing people in Hong Kong to also like jump into it and join this as well is quite significant. According to an announcement from the end of November from the bank, Hong Kong residents need an account with the bank and must undergo a risk assessment before using the new crypto service linked with the bank's app. I assume that's some kind of a regulatory thing. There's only, as far as I can remember, one other country that we've heard of in the last like 7 years who actually has a website for their citizens. I want to say Thailand. I don't know why. I'm thinking Thailand or Philippines, somewhere around that region, whose SEC made a website for people to like learn about crypto before they buy it. So I assume this is this risk assessment thing. I assume maybe there's like a test or something or some kind of I don't really know. Users can only buy Ether and BTC through Bank. No other cryptocurrencies were mentioned, and then they have a pretty little image of it right here as well. This made very popular news. I guess because I don't live in Hong Kong and I personally don't know the significance of Bank and how powerful and rich they actually are. Like it's cool. It's not uncool news. But it definitely made waves, as this was actually one of the most popular news stories out there. It even says a boost for Hong Kong's Web3 ecosystem. Sure, why not? I think it's more of a boost for retail investors and other people who need to be in the cryptocurrency space before Bitcoin goes to $1 million per coin. If you didn't see, once again, one of the other videos recently that I made, go watch it, because I mean, we are clearly, at least from my vantage point, from all the news I've been getting and everything that I've been absorbing, we're really close to like some actual insanity when it comes to prices and how much money that people are going to be making. I get delirious when I keep seeing videos of people talking about how expensive things are and they don't have money and they so and they rent and so. The goal, as always, is to not only make money, but also make like passive money, make money that continuously flows through to you so that you have an easier life. And at the moment, it appears that cryptocurrencies are one of the easiest ways to actually have that happen. So cool. That's the Hong Kong news. We haven't had Hong Kong news in a while. You want to know why? Because their regulators regulate. Isn't that weird? There's been no lawsuits. There's been no back and forth. There's been no one telling someone else some other thing. That we haven't heard from lawmakers from Hong Kong going on to Twitter talking bad about their SEC. Someone put forth a proposal and they regulated it. Someone said we should have Bitcoin ETFs. They gave it to them. I think they also have Ethereum ETFs as well, if I'm not mistaken. This is what actual like regulation looks like. Like regulators doing their actual jobs. I mean, listen, once again, hands in the air. I am trying to be optimistic for the next SEC Power Ranger group in the United States after January. But the string of insanity that we've had thus far hasn't really put me in a good position. So if we get proper regulations within the U.S., the crypto market will also do well as well. Weird, right? Regulating stuff and helping people. That seems kind of odd. I think that's going to do it for this video. I do hope that you are all good. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all having a fantastic day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, wherever the heck you might be. I do hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and supporting. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.